Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Lancescurv from the mountaintops of West Africa. From the mountaintops of West Africa. Let me know how the sound sounds when you file on in. Let me know how it sounds when you file on in. I'm just relaxed, doing a little work today, and I said, well, let me take a little break and throw out something live. I'll be doing a gazillion of these as the days go by. It's much easier for me, but I'll still do my other stuff. Just want to say tonight, we are going to go live with Sister Ade, Dr. Ade, that phenomenal woman who has brought all the facts to us that had us bedazzled by the way she presented it, not just by the way she presented it, by what she researched for over 40 or 45 years, right? That's what you're going to get. But anyway, let me know how the sound is, and we're going to continue on. But anyway, what I wanted to say was that the answers you seek, you'll never get while the mind is busy. The answers you seek will never come to you when the mind is busy. You have to understand that. And this is where you have to find yourself in a place of being still, because you'll never, ever, in a confused, chaotic situation with chaotic people, confused people, people who are reaching, people who are seeking to bring you down because you have a clear mind. And when you seek those answers, trust me, they'll never come. This is why you have to find yourself in a place of stillness and being quiet. Let me know how the sound sounds, everybody, for those who are here. And it's a trip. This life is a trip. But the answers you seek will never come in a busy place, a busy mind, a chaotic atmosphere. You've got to pull away from those who seek to just bring you down. That's basically what it is, because when you have a certain light and a certain confidence and a certain air about you, you must know that you're going to attract so many things around you. But then you can't feel bad about that, because that's confirmation. It's confirmation on your goal. It's confirmation on your trajectory. You can't let those things get you down. So, that's pretty much what was on my mind today. And I'm just enjoying the view, enjoying the atmosphere, but it has brought me a lot of self-reflection where answers just come. Like when you lose your keys and you can't find them, and you're stressing your brain, oh, I got to find these keys. I got to find these keys. Where are they? They're right there in front of you half the time, but you're thinking so hard as to where they can be. It's like they were right there all the time. The minute you say, you know what, I'm going to take a break from looking for these keys, and you lay down on the bed right there on the dresser next to the bed, you look at it right at you, and you're like, I done went in the garage, I done went upstairs in the attic, I went around the yard, I went around all the way around the house, I couldn't find my keys. This reminds me of the time when I had glasses, which I lost a pair. I need to go back and get some more glasses as much as I use my eyes. But I would look for my glasses, so caught up in what I was doing, I say, oh, I can't find my glasses. Where are they? Well, you know what? I tore the house down looking for the glasses, looking for the spectacles. And I stood in front of the mirror and looked in the mirror and saw the glasses flipped up on my forehead. I was like, heck no. Busy mind, too much sometime. And you can't flow the same way and achieve as much as you can when you're in that chaotic atmosphere. And you see a hell lot of people who can come to a nice, quiet place. They can go up in the mountains. And their mind is still chaotic. Their mind is confused. You've got to meditate. So many people are mentally, spiritually, and physically constipated with things that they haven't gotten out of the inside. You see what I mean? Just let me know how the sound sounds, Augustus. I see you there in the chat room. And I want to welcome the other people who are here. Nobody expected me to do this live, so they'll be coming like this all day and all night. All day and all night, since I found the secret. But let me know how the sound sounds. But other than that, like I said, when your mind is clogged up and you're in a busy place, you got to find that inner peace, because that's the only thing that's going to get you through. See, me, I have learned to master that inner peace while in a chaotic atmosphere. And you can still have your answers come to you. You don't reach for them. That's the secret. You see, when you reach for the answers and try hard and force it, it won't come. But when you take your time and let it flow, don't bother it. Keep your mind open for it. Like, listen, okay, I trust the answer is going to come. I trust it's going to come. And in time, it will. And in due time, at the right time, it will. And then you can use your mental capabilities for other things. But when you try to force stuff all the time, like by today, I have to have this decision made, but you don't have all of the factors yet, all of the things that will go into consideration of making that decision, but you want to force making the proper decision. And lots of times when you go down to that car dealership and you have your mind made up on this particular make and model, but you didn't do any research, and you go there and purchase the vehicle later on, you're like, I should have waited. I should have waited those 2 or 3 weeks. It wasn't that long. Now I'm stuck with this thing. And pretty much you are when you finance it like that, unless you want to sell it for a steep discount and lose money if it's a brand new vehicle. You got to take time. You have to take time. There's no other way, and be still. So, it's funny because I have all kind of answers coming to me from my past that are so clear that years ago I pushed hard for, to try to understand, to try to grasp, and they never came. And I was frustrated. Like, why did this breakup happen? Why did this person act funny with me? You know, and then you think back, and you might be driving in your car, taking a walk with some headphones on, playing some music, and you're not even thinking about it. Maybe the song comes on and reminds you of the person that you were around, and it just comes to you because now you have more depth, you have more experience, and sometimes the deeper answers may come after years or maybe even decades. There's certain things that came to me years, decades later. I'm gonna be very open with you, right? I'll be very open with you, right? The members that I'm speaking about in my family are deceased and transitioned on. Um, I'll say have in the present tense, and I love him very much. I have an uncle, Uncle Ronnie, right? And he transitioned in 75. And it hurt me so much because that was when I was 12 years old and I loved him so much. It was either 75 or 76. I have to check. You know how sometimes you go by not the date, but the period in your life. So that particular period, 75 and 76, even though I was 12 and 13 years old, it was kind of a blur of joy. Oh man, 1976 was a great year for me. It was bliss from the time I would wake up until the time I went to sleep. So, at that particular point, before then, when we would go see Uncle Ronnie, he lived up in the Bronx and he worked for the Supreme Court of Jamaica. He had I forgot what the position was, but these pictures and all of these people, these judges and these politicians, and he was a big man in that, and he was well off, but he lived in the Bronx up in New York City, and he had several properties down in Jamaica. I think it was, and I don't know Jamaica like that, although I've been there 2 times, right? But Beverly Hills and some other places, he built these homes, and he was well to do, and he had a really great relationship with my father, and that's his brother, and we would always go over there. And he was always nice, always a gentleman. He was always gaseous though. I always remember him farting, right? And I would try not to laugh, but he was like, "Hey, I know you want to laugh. You heard that, right?" And I'm supposed to start breaking out with laughing. Now, why am I telling you all this? It didn't hit me that Uncle Ronnie was gay until maybe 10 years ago. Not that it mattered to me, right? But he had a cousin that was there with him living. Now, what was the guy's name? Cousin so and so, we'd always call him. And they were always there. I never thought, like, don't they have any women? You know what I mean? And I'm not putting their stuff out, and I can't prove it, but I know it. I know it now. Nobody told me, but I know it. And he was there, and they were always there together, and shopping, coming back home. Like, I never thought about it, but it hit me. It hit me. He didn't have a wife to leave anything to. He didn't. So why am I saying all this? Why am I revealing all of this stuff, right? Well, like I said, things don't come to you sometime until long after. And you're not going to get answers if you try so hard at first. You know, you're not going to get answers if you try so hard at first. Yes, LinkedIn user, how are you? Augustus Brown is here. We have a few people in here. This was unexpected, and this is not going to be the longest because there'll probably be like 10 more before the day's over. But I wanted to give you uh, a kind of view of outside. You know, I'm not going to move this around, but that is live outside there, what you see. That's the view from my top floor bathroom window. There's the balcony in front of it. So it's a little higher than the one below. But it's very tranquil because when I wake up, before I do anything else, I use the restroom, of course, but then I kind of stand there by the window and I just think my thoughts, just let it come to me, like the instructions of what my day is going to be like. Like you see the banner, and I put my face there. Not an ego thing, but it's just a branding thing. But from what you can see, especially when the sun is coming from that direction right now, it's what is it, 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock? I don't know. But the sun comes over that mountain that you see in front of me. And it's a tranquil thing for me because once I wake up out of a deep sleep, I don't want to just jump up and just do. I lay there. I'll make sure to lay there an extra 30 minutes, 45 minutes, 15 minutes, if I have to, right? But lots of things have been coming to me these days because I'm in a whole completely different atmosphere. I'm still a New Yorker to the day I die, right? But the New York tension and the American tension is off of me. And now that the symbolic snow has melted, I see the curve and I see everything that was under that snow. For those who live up north, you'll understand what I'm talking about. You know, when you have that blanket of white snow that comes down and you see the sun on it, everything is smooth and nice. But when it melts, you begin to see the curb, the grass that's wet, the sidewalk that's there. And, you know, God forbid there's a dog that made something there and you step in it, all of a sudden you see this brown color, not to get too nasty, but you see what's there. And a busy mind is like that blanket of snow. A busy mind, a mind that's pushing for answers. Flow with it, try it, you know. It works. But you have to have that atmosphere either around you if you don't have all of the inner peace. But if you have the inner peace, then know that it will come to you. And so practice that. Have some time during the day, even if you live by yourself and you have no one around you. Don't think that you're automatically in a state of inner peace, you know, and having everything in order. Just turn the TV set off, get off the phone, make the phone where you can't make any sound, you mute it, and just be still. And don't purposely think anything. You're not using this time to think for answers. You're using this time to let things flow out of you and your mind can settle in. And really and truly in this modern society, we don't understand how clogged up we are with so many distractions that we can't even have ourselves to ourselves. Could you imagine that? It's like me now. I prepared a private place in this home where it is like the ultimate privacy. Like I can, to show you how private it is, I can take all my clothes off and sit there at the table and I'm outside. No one can see me. No one can see what I'm doing. It's just me and the tops of the trees and pretty much a view like this, but I can't see the view because it's like so protected, and the sky on the same level, me in the heavens. So now I will be getting into the whole everyday having time to myself. Not that I'm saying I have to be away from Mrs. Scurv or anything like that, but to totally lock in a way where I am oblivious and I don't want to know about time. I don't want to know about, you know, I'll be full of food, you know, I'll be rested, and I just want to go there with my mind. I open my mind up. Whatever song pops in my head, whatever questions that I have that are unanswered, it will flow and it will come to me because it's like a mental traffic jam. When you're pushing for answers, it's like, yo, I got to get to work. It's late. I got 3 more minutes to go to work. I only got 3 minutes to get there, and I should have been there 2 minutes ago. I got to hurry and punch in the clock before 4 minutes after. you're still not going to get there on time because it's clogged up. Relax. What I used to say sometimes when I was late going to work, I would say, well, it's 10 minutes to get there, and I'm not going to get there till 20 minutes, but I'm not late yet. Let's see what miracle can happen. And somehow, some way, because I relaxed, I got there on time. But when you tense up and think that you're going to tense up and, no way. It's not going to happen that way. So that inner peace, many people will try to portray that. And I'm not trying to get on my Christian brothers and sisters, but they with that automatic answer, how's everything, brother? How's everything, sister? Blessed and highly favored. Wait a second. You in the Walmart line, you didn't see me, but you on the phone complaining about how horrible your life is and how nasty your husband is and how your sister don't talk to you and how all this stuff. But you cover it up with this statement as opposed to getting deeper and going deeper into yourself, right? And taking this trash out, unearthing this stuff, getting it off of you so you can truly flow freely. Because let me tell you something, when you get in that place where and I'm not saying you're garbage, because I got garbage in me. You got garbage in you, just like we all have feces in us if we've been eating to get out of us, and the toxins that are there in our system, right? So the bottom line is, until you get in that place, you will never be able to think at 100% capacity. And maybe in this world, we may not ever be at 100% capacity. Maybe the highest at certain points will be 89%, depending on ourselves and our environment, or maybe 75% if you're coming off detox and off of drugs. So your ceiling might be 75% of what it could be. And then when you remain clean for the next couple of months, to go to 80 and 89, and you can go higher. We all can go higher because not only is our body self-healing, but our spirit, our emotions, but we're walking around with jacked up emotions and we don't get the answers. So what do? We play the blame game because now we can't accept ourselves being at fault for the state of mind that we're in. So we start blaming everybody else, but that does nothing to heal us, does it? So we got to take accountability. I'm not saying that you cannot ever be a victim, but oftentimes when you are a victim, there's a certain percentage of accountability that you have in a situation. I mean, that's just, unless it's just something outright where you were minding your business and somebody walked up to you and punched you in the face. I can't say that you had anything to do with that happening. You see what I mean? But there's situations that we help to escalate, even though we know we should walk away from it. And then when something bad happens to us, we want to cry victim. You keep poking the bear. See, there's some people who keep poking the bear and then come to you crying and tell you the story in a way that they see themselves as a victim. I don't know how I got all of this, but this is how it is. You know what I mean? So let me check in the chat room here because I'm walking around all free. Yes, Kwame. It's a beautiful thing. That's right. Let me just look up on this. Oh, it is. This is Africa, y'all. What you see next to you, and it's the back of my property. You can see the top rail. You can see what I see every day. And there's a lot of sites around here. And I'm at peace. Let me tell you something. What I learned about myself, you all know I'm a city boy, right? I ain't no boy. I don't want no one of them people. Hey, boy, it ain't gonna happen. I'm just saying it as a figure of speech. I'm a grown man, right? Figure of speech, I'm a city boy. Born and raised in New York City, 38 and a half years, and had more experiences than people that live 5 times worth most people, right? And I have so much to share, so many anecdotes and different things. But let me tell you something. When I first moved out here to Accra, right, which I'm in an undisclosed location up in the mountains, not too far, like this is my bad cave, but it's not too far. I was enjoying city life in Accra, and I still do. But since coming here, it's a shift that happened to me. And the times that I do have to go into the city to take care of business, which Mr. Scurv grows us stuff and everything like that. But there's certain things that I'm going to go down there. It's not like we make our own ketchup, okay? It's not like we make our own mustard or whatever. We have teas and different things we dry out. But for the most part, there's still things that I want, kind of conveniently packaged, until that time comes when we totally, get off. And what I've learned about myself is that I don't enjoy it as much. When I'm down there, I see it, I look at it, I vibe, and I will be going down on a regular basis to get footage and vibe with people. But I find myself saying to them, I can't wait to go home. And then sometimes the thought of going down there, I'm like, I don't want to go. I want to go and come back because there's a peace that I'm feeling that when I'm home and inside and in the yard and you know, it's like it's a whole different vibe. And this is new to me. But I knew it was going to be this way, but I didn't know it was going to hit me this hard. So I can't say I'm a country boy, but I'm a modified city boy, right? I'm a modified New Yorker who, if you drop me in Midtown Manhattan at the busiest of times, whether it's the morning rush hour, the evening rush hour, or most restaurants would say the lunchtime rush, that lunch rush where all these people from these buildings up above, they flood down to the streets or deliveries are being made. You can drop me there and I won't flinch because I have that gear in me. But see what I realized about myself, that even when I was living in New York City, all those years, the 38 and a half out of my 60 years of being on this earth, I had an inner peace from very young, from very, very young. And I would walk through Manhattan, all over Brooklyn, Queens, Staten Island, the Bronx, Jersey City, other places I'd find myself because I was very adventurous by myself. Oh, I had friends, but long before we all started hanging out, I was already like on my own little mission to sample what was out there. Of course, you hear some of my wildest stories, and I'll leave those where they are. I'll tell some stories at another time. But when I look back, there was a centeredness that I had, and I say it in past tense. Not that I ever lost it. It was reduced for a time as I got involved in certain relationships and around certain people, but I always had it. It was always there close by on the shelf where I could reach out, you see? And it was a beautiful thing. And then, not that I lost it and got it back, but it has been increased. Even long before I came out here, when I knew that I had to leave America, right? When it hit me, like I tried it all out. I can't. Like when somebody says, well, listen, let's go to the restaurant, but I want you to try something new. And you're like, listen, I want to get the same old favorite thing that I have, that I always get. And they say, no, come on, you never know, right? Now, either one of two things can happen, which has happened pretty much to all of us. And let me explain. Either it's taking a bite from somebody's plate to give you a bite, try this out, or they get you or they make you get a whole new plate, which you don't want to commit to as far as paying for because you don't know if you're going to like the thing or not, right? So say you do get that plate, or maybe they give you a portion. Let's just make it nicer. They give you a portion of what is on their plate. So either you say, okay, you're chewing it, everybody's looking at you to see the response. And you're going to be honest. That thing that you try it, even when you begin to taste it, it doesn't hit you yet that this is something so good to your taste buds and your whole sensory experience. And you're quiet and they're quiet and you're chewing and you start smiling. You start smiling because you say, wait a second, I've come here to this restaurant with you time and time again, but guess what? I never wanted to sample it. It didn't look right to me, but this thing is good. Let me order some and let me order some to take home. And probably for the next 2 weeks, I'm exaggerating for you, but for me, I'm a fanatic. It's like the first time I had sushi back in 1984, and I believe it was September or October. It was the fall and fall weather. And a bunch of us were supposed to go to the east side of the Greenwich Village. I was 21 years old, 21 and a half, and get this sushi. And so I said, I'll come with you, but I don't think so. I never did anything. The way it looks, I'm not saying it's nasty, but it looked like candy. Like I was always wrapped up in seaweed, these colorful, whatever. I didn't know whether it's gonna be salty or sugary or what. So I said, we all going. So it was going to be like 10 of us from the gym. And back then, I was training at a place called Natural Physique Center on 4th Avenue and 11th Street. It's long gone now. Bob Fuchs, the owner, and his wife, Nicole Bass, they've transitioned a while ago. And on a footnote, Nicole Bass was that very muscular wrestler that talked like a man because she was on so much steroids. Hey, it is what it is. And she talked, and they made fun of her on Living Color. I knew her personally. I knew her before she even started going to the gym, because when she came to the gym to look inside to see what was going on, me and my friend Mike Scott was sitting out there eating pineapple out the can, and she walked up to us. And she had an ugly body. I'm sorry. And she had an ugly body when she got muscles too. But Nicole Bass, eventually Nicole Fuchs, Nicole Bass Fuchs. Google that name. Nicole Bass Fuchs and Nicole Bass, and you'll see who it is. I ran into, I knew a lot of famous people, semi-famous underground type stuff. But it was there that I was training, and a bunch of us were gonna go. I said, reluctantly, I was like, okay, I'll go this one time. You all always go out every Friday night to eat this sushi, and you're telling me to come. All you'll want me to do is come there so I can tell jokes. Because I was always a clown. So, yo, man, you make fun of people and you make us laugh. Come on, man, we need you there. I said, okay. But the food's nasty. I'm cussing y'all out. So anyway, we went there, and come to find out the 8 other people didn't show up. We were supposed to meet at the gym. Some were already at the gym and had to leave. So it was just me and one other person, a young lady named Donna Kaleli. Donna Kaleli, Italian chick, right? Nothing was going on, but we were cool. She was tomboyish, but she was a straight white woman. So she's like, Lance, it looks like me and you. I said, okay, we'll go. And we walked over. It was a long walk deep into East Village. And so I got there, and I'm looking at all these platters of sushi come out. I'm like, this is some strange stuff. And she was a little eccentric. She was nice though. And she's like, it's in our group, it's mandatory that when we bring somebody to eat sushi, we pay for it. I'm like, listen, don't worry about it. I'll pay for my own sushi. She said, no. It's our tradition. We can't break it. I said, it would have been easier if the other 8 people were here. You could split it up. I mean, it was only, but so much money anyway. It wasn't an all-you-can-eat joint, but they had a variety, a platter. So she's like, listen, the first piece you eat may not be your favorite, but out of the 20 pieces that you eat or 25 pieces that's in this platter, you're going to find 1 or 3 or 6 that you like, 3 that it's okay, but there's going to be 1 that blows your mind. And I'm like, okay, you're telling me statistics on something that I never, eaten before, but okay, let's go. Why was the first piece of sushi I ate octopus? Didn't like that. That was like eating a rubber sole. Chewing a rubber sole. I went through with it, but it didn't look right because they had the tentacles and everything. And it was just, So I got that one down. I'm walking around. So if you hear an echo, you'll see me. And let me see who's here with me. Indigo King, of course, Kwame. I don't want to scroll up and knock this show out. Okay, we have Landon, Brother Landon. Yes. We got a few people here. And I'm going to do a lot of these unexpected ones, right? So if you don't think it's real, I'll put my hand in front of the camera. See, this is real, y'all. So, you know what? I'll give you a little better view too. I'm going to put it back in the exact space, but I want to turn it so you can see that this is real. You can see up the mountain that way. See up the mountain that way, right? Now it's going to be a challenge to put it exactly where I had it. Okay, that's good. Okay, cool. Naima, how are you? If I don't acknowledge anybody, I walked away. I'm kind of walking away from. This is on my mobile, my phone. And I want to have a setup where everything can come clear. We can come outside on the balcony and get real good, clear stuff. And we will have some very interesting interviews. Brother Michael, if you might remember him, we did like 2 shows together, I think. And he spoke about scripture and different things and brought it down like to some realistic, we want to have the superstars on the channel for sure. But he touched down. He's in Ghana for good. So we have a lot of content to do, and he's fanatical. He does this, but when he was in America, he didn't do it as much because he had things to tie up and get into. But now that he's settling in, his family is already here, and he called me this morning. He's been here for about a week. I gave him a little chance to get himself together and settled, but we're going to be doing a lot of hardcore stuff together. And that gives me an excuse, to get out and do more and to have somebody to focus in on. Because, doing this, a lot of people don't understand. This is a verbal commercial break. I'm going to get back with the story. But doing this, a lot of folks culturally don't understand because I'm going to be perpetually, in their eyes of those who don't know me, a perpetual tourist. I stick out. These are my black people too, Africans. But different places here, many places here, it's like, what is this guy doing here with a camera walking around? That's the way it was many years ago in America. If you had a camera walking around, let's just say, YouTube came out in 2005, say 2006, 2007, which I didn't make this channel until 2010. I had another channel, Scurv Originals, which you can hit on. I transfer a lot of those videos anyway. It was just non-directional. But if you had a camera and say it's like, let's go back to 2008, and you're walking down the street and say, excuse me, I'd like to interview you. And they're like, what's this for? you know, what is this all about? But now you walk down in America with a camera, maybe a tripod, maybe a selfie stick or something comparable. The first thing they ask, what's your channel? Because the knowledge of YouTube and social media, it's accepted now and everybody does it. So over here, it's the same way. They understand about TikTok and YouTube and stuff, and they understand they have their phones, and a lot of people are creating things with their phones, but now I'm a foreigner in their mind, walking up. So what is this all about? Like, maybe they don't, some of the people here way up in the country don't do YouTube like that, to that depth. They may do it and do a little dance and stuff. You know what I mean? Like a TikTok and dance and stuff, but they don't really do a full channel. There are people here who do that, but we're back years ago. Here is like years ago with acceptance of that. Anyway, getting back to the story. I'm in there. I ate a piece of mackerel. It was the sushi rice, the short rice, vinegared with the seaweed wrapped around it. I was like, this is pretty good. Pretty good. I had some tuna. I was like, oh, okay, this is pretty good, right? Then, drum roll, please. I had a piece of salmon. Oh my God. The salmon hooked me. The taste of it, the flavor of it, the wasabi, the rice, the seaweed. I was like, this is it here. I'm hooked. I got to come here. Now, what I'm saying is that after we ate, I loved it. I pretty much loved most of it. That octopus, I never ate again. I never ate a piece of octopus again. So after that, I'm fanatical. Midtown Manhattan, Lower Manhattan, every other block, there's a sushi joint. So I tried out so many different places, and I ran into a place that was an all-you-can-eat place, right? And they had quality stuff. And I'm way off the thing about finding your answers, but you know how I do. Anyway, I found a place that several of my friends loved, and I found it on 72nd Street between Amsterdam and I believe it was Columbus Avenue, called Kanoko, right there on 72nd Street, on the northern side of 72nd Street. And after that first night, I was there every night for 2 weeks. And at least 4 times a week, wherever I was getting sushi and bringing it home. People were like, oh, are you crazy? I was eating so much of it. But when you find something that you love, and this is why not being afraid to explore, not being stuck in your own habits and your own ways, to go off the beaten path is very important to do so, because that's where you find your favorites. That's where you find your niche. That's where you find your mission. What if my parents never encouraged me to draw? You see what I mean? And see, this is the state of mind I have to be in to draw. With what you see in front of you. To put the table out on one of the balconies and just Just put the paper there. Maybe I'll take a laptop and look at different things to stimulate what I'm going to draw, and let it be timeless, not have to rush. You see, not have to take my mind anywhere and letting the answers come because my mind is still, letting the flow come because everything is tranquil and I'm cleansing out my inside. So my filters are clean. And so when your inner filters are clean, there's nothing else on the outside that can touch you in your creative flow, in your flow of righteous living. Don't care how many dirty looks you get from your enemy. Don't care how they make sure that they hold their hand up over their mouth to whisper something in your ear while the other person chuckles and they're looking at you to let you know we talking about you. Whatever. At the end of the day, at the end of the fight, when we tally up the scorecards, let's see who the winner is. Because really and truly, the winner means for me fulfilling what it is that I have to do on this earth. Maybe winning for you is keeping up with me, which is wrong because you forfeit what your mission is, trying to be somebody else. And look at the world we live in, where there's so many people out here trying to be someone else and something else. The big debate now is what bathroom would one of them people there, them things there, can they go into? The male or the female bathroom? Well, look between your legs and see what's there. You got one of them things. You need to go into the man's bathroom, but this is a world of confusion, and we're so preoccupied with it. And even still, I'm not even arguing with you if you're confused because that's your job to clean out your filters. Mine are clean. I am flowing. Anything you do to get in my way, I'm finding a way around it. I'm going to do it good. It's almost like spy versus spy in the Mad magazine. For those from back in the day, I think Mad magazine is still out. But back in the 70s, I used to love Mad magazine. Alfred E. Newman, that little character that was in there. And the art was effective. I won't say it was works of art, but the cartoons and the realistic things that they had in there. And they had this series called Spy versus Spy. It was a white spy and a black spy, not by race, just by the color of the illustration. One had a black outfit, one had a white outfit. I need to look back at some of those and see if there were any racial undertones in that. But each one they were always going after each other with these gadgets and trying to subdue the other one. And that was their whole life. But what I learned from that, I said to myself, even back then at 13 or 14 years old, because although I was always an extrovert when I was around my friends, I loved to be inside and read and draw and just go into deep thinking. And I had a lot of time. And so, I know it's a little difficult when you have lots of brothers and sisters to, focus your mind on certain things. But for me, it was a breeding ground. My home that my parents provided was a breeding ground for my creativity and deeper thoughts. And I thought to myself, I said, look at this. What if, and I didn't articulate it this way, but this is something I thought as a young teenager. I said, these two dudes are wasting their life, Spy versus Spy in Man magazine. Google it. You might see some of the cartoons. I said, they're wasting their life coming against each other. How great could they be if they put that effort into developing themselves? And of course, I didn't say it mature that way. I don't know how I thought it, but I thought it, that same thought. And so that's something that really affected me, that why be engaged in the power trips with other people? To what end? If you want to think you can stop me or think you can discourage me, go ahead and think. Like Muhammad Ali said, you can't hit what you can't see. If I move out of the range of your punch, you could swing for the bleachers all you want. If it doesn't land, it's not going to stop me. This is why you have to keep yourself cloaked in a manner where you don't broadcast your movements. You have to, I don't say think small like you're smaller or reduced, but for your enemy, allow your footprint to be so small that it's damn near invisible. Where as they watch you to plot and plan your demise and jump out on the side of the trail symbolically as you walk down, you have to already be ahead of them. Walk around, go in the bushes behind them. They'll be waiting there forever. Go at a different time. Stagger your time. Be in the house for a whole week and don't cut your lights on unless you have to at night. And sometimes you're somewhere in another country videotaping, you come back and chill for a while, then you put it up. I'll be doing a lot of that because I never broadcast my traveling. You know what I mean? safety reasons out here. You never know who knows who and what can happen. So, you know, at the end of the day, it really comes down to were you effective? Were you effective in your performance for that day? That's the only thing that concerns me. Now, I concern myself with my family, my inner circle, my home, more so than house. It's about home because house means nothing if it's not a home. But the things that are near and dear to me, all the other ego stuff, you can have it because at the end of the day, the primping and posing and all of that stuff doesn't matter. Am I effective in doing what it is that I'm supposed to do on this earth while I'm here? There's a great level of fulfillment that comes with that. It's a natural high. If I was only a bricklayer and I was the best bricklayer because I applied myself and I have a reputation of being the best bricklayer, and people come to me like, listen, we got 10 other bricklayers that want to do a job, but we want you to do it because you do it the best. You might be a cook, a chef in a restaurant. You do it the best. You might be a maintenance man in a school overnight doing the floors and emptying, whatever, and you do it the best. Now that may not be your ultimate goal, but whatever you do it the best. So they realize it's not about what you do, it's your attitude as it applies to anything that you do. Not that you're a stuck up perfectionist, but you seek perfection in everything you do, knowing you're not going to be perfect, but you can perfect. Perfect. And so this is what I'm on, producing what I produce and many other levels. There are new endeavors that I'm doing right now, but I'm going to plant the seed and let it grow a little bit before I reveal it to the world. It's a beautiful thing. See? So that's where I'm coming from. But it's only going to come from a mind that is not filled with chaos because you'll have people whispering in your ear to try to get your thought patterns off where you're not effective. They'll drop a little sugar in your gas tank. You try to start your car up now, you done messed up your fuel lines and everything because you opened your gas tank, you opened your mind to people who had no good intention for you. But the beautiful part is they may have dumped the sugar in the gas tank and messed up your engine, but you know never again to let them near you to your vehicle, which I'm saying is your mind, to throw you off. That's the way you stay perpetually motivated no matter what comes up against you. You have to, and you have to protect that. So, on a cerebral level, everything else you have to protect. But more so than anything else, what you filter out of your mind and keeping those filters clean. Because people will throw things at you, to the point where you're fighting off what people are throwing at you, and you can't even have your own thoughts to yourself. Get away from that chaos. Get away from that spirit. Because remember, look, if a person stuck their finger in the electrical socket, okay, check this out, and they're standing over there, it ain't gonna shock you. But if there's somebody else that touches them, and you think, well, if I hold this person's hand, I mean, for what reason? Which is just think about holding somebody's hand. That's a weird scenario, but I'm just trying to prove a point. And you hold their hand, you say, well, I'm holding their hand. They have nothing to do with the person who's sticking their finger in the electrical socket. Well, guess what? They are connected to the one who has their finger in the electrical socket. And guess what? You're going to get shocked because of the energy that's flowing through that person who you don't see, and it's coming through this person to you. So, like 50 Cent said, if you're cool with an enemy of mine, that means you're an enemy too. You understand? You got to be very careful on the transferal of that type of energy and the transferal of that type of spiritual energy. It may sound weird to some people, but that is law. You want to be independent of all of that stuff. You want to maintain a clear mind so you can think the thoughts that you have to think without any resistance or any offense coming from the outside world to clog your filters up. Let me walk around over here. I'm kind of away from the window, but I'm getting a little closer to it. I haven't seen the chat room. Let me just look over here. Does anybody need to? Um, yes, I'm seeing all the wonderful comments. Okay. Okay, yeah, you're at the job, Naima. I'm glad you're here with us. Yeah, but that's the main thing. You got to protect your mind. Like even up here, as older thoughts come out of me, older mentalities, older residues that were put on me, right? I'm not saying put on me like I'm a victim, but yeah, people dump on you. You drive out. If you live in a subdivision or you live in an apartment or, wherever you live, you go down there, even if you're not driving and it's the morning time. So you're going to work, or say it's a Sunday, you're going to just take a morning walk to the supermarket, whatever it may be. Then all of a sudden you see this trash, like 5 and 6 bags of garbage, like dumped, and some of them broke and flies are around it and it stinks. And you're walking down the road, you're like, man, good God, when did this happen? Didn't happen in broad daylight. Somebody thought this up. Like, yo, we got garbage. We don't have any garbage disposal. We're not paying for it. We just gonna dump our garbage in somebody else's neighborhood. So they probably have their car or pickup truck or whatever, and they get to a spot at night that's dark, nobody's around, and they can dump it. What do you think people do to you? And you discover a foul thought in your mind because in the midnight hour, and it doesn't have to be in midnight, they could be doing it to you every day at lunch on your job. And they come to lunch with you and take their time and drop a little poison in your mind to have you discouraged to think that you can't do anything. And it doesn't have to be somebody outside of your circle. It could be a Benedict Arnold inside your circle, hanging out with the energies that you got rid of, but they're acting as a go-between, and you're getting shocked from somebody else having their finger in the socket. You see what I mean? And you start thinking like, can I do this? And I want to do this. I've been talking about it for the last 2 years. I've never got it done. But now all of a sudden that you cut those energies, right? And you now put up lights and cameras in that neighborhood that gets dumped on all the time and nobody does it. So you have to surveil your own mind. And when you run across a thought that's not proper, that's not conducive to your personal success, you have to, just don't throw it out. Figure out where it came from. Examine it. Look at it. It may not be nice to examine and look at. It may be something foul. Let me tell you why that is. Let me give you a good example. They had a show on, was it Dr. Oz? I don't even know if Dr. Oz comes on anymore. Listen, Dr. Oz is not the originator of this stuff. They got a lot of African grandmothers and great grandmothers and stuff passed down. You know, these shows, they take away from all things African as they do with so many other things and turn around and act like we're quacks, right? But Dr. Oz had a program where he told everybody, listen, this is not going to be a show that you might want to watch during lunchtime or with a meal. And the bottom line is checking your feces. Now, why am I talking about that? Scurv always talking about something nasty. No, I'm telling you. And this is on a physical level. I want to bring it back to the mental and spiritual. You got to check your feces because it tells you the state of being that your physical body is in. You see, you may eat a meal here and a meal there, but understand that part of that meal may not have been eliminated and you put something else in there and it combines to make you flatulent or make you not feel good, right? So when you can tell, and I'm not being nasty, y'all, I'm really not, because I know I'm preaching to the choir for some of the people here, but you got to know that if it's watery, if it's a certain color, if it's constipated, if it's got these speckles in there, each feces sample tells a person a lot about what's going on inside. And most of us don't even do that anymore. You have to check. We all know, you turn around, you see some corn. Okay, I ate corn earlier. But if you ate corn 2 weeks ago and haven't eaten it, and you seeing corn 2 weeks after, your transit time is deadlocked. Your stomach has a traffic jam going on. So why did I bring up the thing of feces, which is something you all need to do anyway? I'm not saying I'm a know-it-all, but don't think, oh, it's out of me, it's okay. No, it's telling you what. We don't have to do other things that they would have us do in the Western world with their medicine. That's dangerous to us. Everything is natural, and the bodies talk to us. You see what I mean? It's just like when you're driving down the street and there's a car that blows by you, blowing out black smoke. It's like, yo, when was the last time you changed your oil? When was the last time that you flushed your radiator? When was the last time it indicates how sick, the sickness that's going on inside the body. You see what I mean? So let's remember that. Let's go on a spiritual level, right? People get around you and drop negativity into your mind slowly but surely, just like a body that's poisoned. If you give a person a whole lot of poison, they're going to drop dead. But if you drop a little bit over time, the result may take time to get the person to be killed, just like all the time when you have these women who they find a new boyfriend and they want to get rid of the rich husband. They're not really into them. So they take time and poison the rich husband so they can get the insurance money, the property, and the money. But they get caught oftentimes, right? Even if they kill the husband, they get caught. When they do the toxicology, it's like, wait a second. Then they go and figure out this woman has been going to the drugstore and purchasing something for another reason. Well, you know how that goes. There's a gazillion stories like that, and there's going to be more, that type of spirit. But you have to see how you feel now. Where you were once motivated, now you're not motivated? What's going on? Why the change? Well, sometimes we can have a change of environment. We need time to be adjusted. We can't always be gung-ho 100% all the time, but we can anticipate those things and say, okay, I know I'm going to have to dedicate some time. Even me with regularity with shows. I just throw them up, throw them up, throw them up until everything is completely settled. Physically, I'm in, but there's things that need to be done. Over the next few months, there's things, if not a year or two, before settling it all the way. You just don't go boop, boop, and you're settled. But I'm here enough to show you what's in front of you, to show you that I'm here and I'm settled and everything is coming along fine. Them rails got to be painted soon, though. That's not the color we painted. We're looking for the right paint. We just found out what it is. It's going to really look nice when I do it. So there's a lot of things like little touch-ups to do. But that being said, on a mental level, how you train yourself or allow one who you trust to guide you into a more intense, pure mentality focused towards your goal. I can't think of anyone more so than Mike Tyson and his former trainer and mentor, Cus D'Amato. While I do have my issues with Cus D'Amato on the development of Mike Tyson at that time, which they glorify a lot, there's a lot of little things I don't dig. And I'll just get this out the way. Cus D'Amato trained Jose Torres, former light heavyweight champ, Floyd Patterson, former heavyweight champ, and a few other notables in boxing. But boxing was, and probably still is, controlled by the mob heavy back in the 30s, 40s, and 50s, and part of the 60s, right? And Cus D'Amato was a guy who was on the outside of all of that. He did not want his fighters to take a dive for a certain amount of money to pad somebody's record and all that stuff. So he fought against that, and he was very verbal. He could have got killed, but he didn't. But they blackballed him from the system. So if it was a close decision between his fighter and this other fighter, it was the other fighter that was going to get it. And he was getting older and he was pissed. And he was like, I'm getting revenge on y'all, right? So when he saw Mike Tyson and the potential that he had, even though he was short for a heavyweight, 5'10", I mean, they say 5'11 and a half, me and him are the same size. So I'm like, man, I look at guys that are taller. I'm saying, how did Mike Tyson do this? It's with timing and everything. But he took him under his wing and reprogrammed him mentally to be the most destructive, focused, disciplined fighting machine that has been seen in a long time. And while I love Muhammad Ali and consider him to be the greatest, Mike Tyson was a monster. He was a Frankenstein. He was created for that thing, right? Imagine Mike Tyson at 6'5", if he had a longer reach, but the timing and the mentality. Cus D'Amato had him hypnotized and just talking to him, making him know, not even believe, but grooming him to be this thing. That his total energy and his total focus was a destruction. And I don't mean killing anybody, but this is boxing, y'all. The next person's trying to take your head off. So you have to have that mentality. You cannot have a crack in your armor. You understand? So this is how Mike Tyson was constructed by Cus D'Amato. Why? Look, we can take something from that. What about us? What if we had a jealous aunt, a jealous next door neighbor, a teacher who didn't like us too much because they saw our potential in the world? You got some hating teachers out here, some racist teachers. I don't know how many of you saw where this black girl was there was a row of girls getting awards, and this white woman stepped past the black young lady and gave the award to the next. Everybody was getting this medal, hung around their neck, and they skipped past her. You see what I mean? So you have people who are in positions where you think you can trust them, but deep down you can't. So now, why aren't we? And I'm not saying we have to be Mike Tyson to be boxers, but why can't we be Mike Tyson in the corporate world? Why can't we be Mike Tyson when it comes to guiding our children on a spiritual level? Why can't we be that Mike Tyson over our finances to help others excel that way? We look out for each other that way. Why can't we be that? Something so focused, something so trained mentally, spiritually, physically for a purpose. And yes, we do have multiple purposes in our life. But that one thing that every time I come in that ring, the ring could mean anything in any area of that life. But I have pumped myself up, not pumped up in a fake way, but never wasted a moment with the positivity that I had. So me being up here in the mountains, which behind that view, if you can see the view behind that mountain and how far and how high up we are, this is like a bowl, what you see. The back of my house, it goes down, comes up, and that's it. But if you were to see how high we are, you realize that we're up in the clouds, right? So with this atmosphere, isolation, like when Mike Tyson was up in Catskills and all they had to do was focus on the training. Okay, you're going to be up at the crack of dawn. You're going to do your road work. You're going to get a little breakfast and take a little nap. You're going to get up and going to do some sparring. Oh, you're going to work the bags now. You're going to skip your rope. Boom, it's 8 o'clock. Get to bed. No riffraff. Total mental training. And so we can administer this thing to ourselves. We don't even need a custom model, but we have to know that we can restructure our day where we dedicate a certain amount of our day to accomplishing things. You see what I mean? And we could be great, we could be mighty, but too many of us have other people who don't feel that they can achieve something. And they want to make you feel the same way too, because misery does love company. They will see your potential and scoff at it and make it their mission to slow you down. See? So we have that responsibility to ourselves to filter through what comes to us, filter through what energies are around us, because you can feel it. If you're clean within yourself, you can feel what's around you, but you can also put up that shield where it cannot permeate your mindset. That when you see their attempts to come at you, you get more determined. Okay, you're going to stop me from this one thing? I'm doing 5. You're going to block me in this one lane? I'm going to create multiple lanes that you look like a fool because you're wasting your time. You can't stop me. And see, in this oppressive world that we're in, we can't stop talking about that. We've got to understand that, yeah, we can let off and drop our guard when we're home and around trusted ones that we can open up to. There are people we can open up to, but it takes sometimes years to make sure that they are that. And if they are that, they have to be pursuing something righteously. They have to be doing a work. They have to be pursuing something. But you can't get around a deadbeat who has good talk. But when you look at his life or her life, you see, man, what are they producing? What are they going after? If I tell you that I'm into construction and I'm into building high rises, and you come over to my house and all you see is pornographic magazines and nothing on my bookshelf that shows you I'm studying that, then something's wrong. Something's wrong. If I say I'm a vegan and you come over and there's nothing but steak in my refrigerator, something's wrong. If I say I'm a straight man looking for a woman, but you come over my house and you see nothing but garter belts and stockings and size 12 pumps, brother, there's something going on behind closed doors. You're not all that you're trying to say to it, what you are. You see what I mean? Excuse me for the weird analogies, but that's just the way it is. I'm walking around, so let me check. Ah, yes. All right. Chat room is kind of stuck, meaning that not many people are talking as much, which means that you're interested in what I'm saying or you fell asleep because I'm boring you. I don't know. Hopefully it's not the latter. But it is a beautiful day out here. And next time I'll face the camera on the other side where the sun is going down. Not yet. I'm only 4 hours ahead of the East Coast. So that works out for me too, especially when I do like morning stuff, which I'm going to be doing it a lot. If I do something at 12 noon, that's out there 8 o'clock I'm on the East Coast. So I do something 10 o'clock for me at 6 o'clock, you know. And you know me, I'll go all night. I'll pre-record something, go to sleep in a second. But be careful, everybody. Be careful with the sensitive sides. And I'm not trying to say that you're weak when I say sensitive sides. All I'm saying is that, we have the sides that we have to have protected. Look, none of us ain't no Superman. Because I know 99% of the men that I know, you kick them between the legs, you're going to drop them. I don't care if you're 4'11", 80 pounds of a woman. You kick a man just right, he could be 6'7", no fat in his body, all muscle, he's dropping. So we all have parts of us that we have to protect, not just physically, but mentally and spiritually, especially when we're developing into who we're going to be. Maturity. We get to a certain age, we should be at a certain place already. If you're not there, there's something wrong. There's something that's been holding you back. You didn't have that Mike Tyson atmosphere to bring you into, that's destiny. That's a phenomenal story. Whether you're into boxing or not, that's a phenomenal story. And we have to keep ourselves in that mentality and protect ourselves and go to the extreme to do so. If somebody's trying to get you to drink a cup of poison, you know to say, yeah, I'm not drinking that poison. But you know what? If a person says, here's your favorite beverage, but there's only 2 drops of poison in there, are you going to be a fool and eat it? I don't want none of it. This is a day of extremes because the enemy is coming after us harder and making it sweet. TikTok addictions, weaponized foods, GMO foods that when it gets in your body, it does nothing because it's not made to lock with. Do you stick a key in a lock that doesn't belong in that lock? And it's hard. I'm going to force this key and I'm going to turn it hard to make it open. It's not going to work. So eating GMO food, you're not even getting your mind right because your mind is not physically being fed. If your mind is not physically fed, how can you process what's around you to ascend on a spiritual level? It's not just separate. This oppressive, twisted world is coming at us to make us slaves once again, but in a more total way, a slick way, not corralling you up and making you work physically somewhere, but to stay where you are and feed into a system that you're giving your life force to, and you don't even know it, and you're happy in it. You're happy eating these foods that are stimulating you with the extra sugar and these chemicals. They got chemicals that they put in food to make you addicted to the food. Look at that test with the Popeyes sandwich, the chicken sandwich years ago. I did a video on that. That was an experiment. What happened to that? People were going crazy. You got other places that had chicken sandwiches and folks were going crazy over that. That confirms something for somebody in a laboratory somewhere. And we're always the guinea pigs. Oh, yeah, look, see, these Negroes are going crazy over a chicken sandwich. And there's no more chicken sandwiches, and people went crazy. They go flying over to the next Popeyes. Let's not forget these lessons that we learn right in our face. Right in our face. On different levels every single day. People who, not even just people who are into Catholicism, right? But they bend them rules. One day it's okay to do this, and the next day it's not okay to do every imaginable sin is okay in church with the pastors. They can't say what they want to say because of that status that they have. They want to keep that money flowing in, so they have to let everything in. But you must quell somebody's voice who's not afraid to say what it is. And the more you can get out of the system is the more you have free reign to speak. But they won't let you on their platform saying what you have to say because they don't want you to stimulate people's minds. They don't want people to wake up to what's going on. Being blinded is sweet in this world. And there's some people who know better, who gave up. They know better. This life is a quick journey, y'all. I can't believe I'm 60 years old, but the energy inside of me is not worn down. It's not beat down because I protect it. I protect myself that way. Just like boxing, you must protect yourself at all times. The answers you seek will never come to you with a busy mind. It only comes to you when your mind is still. How many places in your day can you find that are still, right? I mean, like, okay, on the physical level, how many places can you go to where there's a stillness in that atmosphere, aside from the toilet bowl, y'all? And oftentimes, by the time your butt thing yet, they trying to get me up out of here. Damn, I can't have no peace in the bathroom. How many places can you go to in your daily? Now, hopefully, you can say home. Whatever home may be, home don't have to be house. It could be apartment. It could be room. It could be under a tree or an alleyway. And I have to say, some of the homeless people that I've met while driving a bus in Orlando, Florida, a lot of them have so much peace of mind, and they living next to a dumpster behind some restaurant. Talk about, man, that food that came out that restaurant, I'm eating food that you can't even afford on your budget. Like, oh man, it all depends how you look at it. I don't think I want to be in that position. But where can you go, really and truly, where there's a stillness in your day that brings you to a place of peace, where you can operate on yourself daily without interruption, to bring your mind to a place of peace and stillness where the answers can come to you? Because plants and trees ain't the only ones getting downloads. Out there, I'm looking at some palm trees. I'm looking at some trees on the other side of the house now. I got the phone facing toward the back, but I'm looking out the side window, man. It's a beautiful sight. And the sun's rays are hitting directly at the plants, and the leaves are catching the rays and going down into the trunk, and the roots are pulling up nutrients from the bottom. It's a beautiful thing. And then there's fruits on them trees. So what fruits are we getting in our mind and in our life from within if we're not connected to the overall thing? This is what the biggest thing you see Bill Gates talking about, I'm blocking the sun. See, if he was really smart, he wouldn't say anything, because you know that man don't like us. But he can't help it so much because he knows the sun benefits us. What are we going to have to do? Pay for like sun rays one day? Well, if you want sun rays to come through, we'll unblock it and you pay us. Yeah, because it benefits us. We can. Those people who have that mentality, they don't want anything freely benefiting us as the creator, no matter who you call it, what you call it, whatever. Universe, creator, God, the most high, whatever. The one who made this place. Because ain't none of y'all so bad that you can replicate this like that. We are too minuscule in this whole thing. That's why we need to be thankful for being in a place in nature and want to run out of the system that is killing us and enslaving us. All I'm doing is buying time in my life, because they might have the whole world taken over by a certain time. Maybe I moved over a little bit to find a little better spot. When you're a kid in the middle of the night and you were dreaming that you were in the bathroom, and you're like, oh man, let me go to the bathroom. And you're not sitting on the toilet or standing in front of it, you in the bed. And all of a sudden and you catch yourself. Oh no, I leaked in the bed. So what do? You move over, you get up and go to the bathroom, and you probably put something over that wet spot, but you don't lay in the wet spot. So the wet spot for me was America. So I wanted to go where it was conducive to a better rest, to move over somewhere where physically and all, look, there's issues over here, a lot of issues over here. I mean, nothing we can't handle, but it ain't like America, right? So that's the wet spot. So I'm over here. I bought myself more time to get my rest before the day starts, before the battle starts. So I moved away from a place that was giving me all of these distractions that wasn't any good for me, right? Now there's some, and I'm not damning it for people who are there. I'm not going, I'm over here. Because there's certain things, amenities I may miss. But it's okay. The trade-off is so much better for me. Right? I'm having myself to myself. Whenever you get addicted to something on the external, on the outside of you, there's something wrong. There's something wrong big time. Because now you're not focused on the inner peace. You're focused on the outer stimulation. And so when somebody threatens to take that external stimulation away from you, you will pay whatever it takes to keep it coming to you as a supply. But if you disconnect your desires from that and seek out desires and pursuits that are conducive to your peace, no one can control you because you don't need them. You see what I mean? When you're self-sufficient and you realize that you have the answer to everything on the inside, you're good. See, when a chicken is in the form of an egg, everything inside that egg is there for them. All the nutrients, everything is there for them as they grow. When you're in your mother's womb, she filters the bad stuff out and gives you the good stuff. So you'll see, and I'm not throwing off on anybody who is addicted to crack. I'm just painting a picture, y'all, because I know so many people that I know, whether it's online or face to face, whatever, and they've said the same thing too. It's amazing how the body is, because you can have a woman who's addicted to crack, who's out there doing all kind of stuff, and ends up pregnant. Don't know who the father is. She might have some physical issues because of diseases that she's had that she didn't pass on to the child. But even the bad food that she ate, the human body acted as a filter and strained out the bad stuff and gave the baby the good stuff. You see what I mean? So this is the kind of system that we're in. Your water can be contaminated. That comes down at the root of a tree, but that tree filters out all bad things, and the coconut water that you drink will always be pure. That moisture in the apple will always be pure. Place ourselves properly, that no matter what's around us, we will still come out shining and bright and healthy, just like the next person who is in a perfect environment for their own growth. So never give up no matter where you are. If you can think it, you can achieve it. It's there for you. Always never give up. And that's my thing. I've had things thrown at me that people are like, he ain't going to make it to this one. He's going to stop doing what he's doing now. And they can't understand. Why is it and how is it I can keep going on? I'm not going to be and go in multiple lanes. You know, we are supposed to expand. We can't stay. I'm going to get ready to move on. I might pop up and do another one 1 or 2 hours from now. I don't know. But I like it like this. I'll give you another view. And I like my lives like this too, when I'm up in the day for me. And I forgot what time it is, but whatever time it is for me, the East Coast is 4 hours behind me, and I'm 4 hours ahead. Okay, never forget that. So I'm going to wrap it down right now. Libby Lou, I see you just came in. I was walking away from the chat room. I'm on a wireless right now, so it's always guaranteed. Oh, Master Glam, I'm sorry, I didn't see you. I wasn't here anyway. I walked over to the next room. It's funny. So I'm trying out all different types of Jovan, how are you? Yes. I'm quite sure somebody will answer that question for you. There's somebody on Twitch right now that said, hey, what's up? Valve ZBTW. Because this is going across multiple platforms. So again, if I didn't acknowledge you, it's because I wasn't in front of the phone. But I put my banner up and gave you a little view of the mountains and stuff like that. And I will do it once again. I'll turn it around to show you it's real. And that's going up to town up there. Nighttime lights on the other side of the mountain. It's phenomenal. It's almost like when you're inside and you look out, it's like you're looking out over like this what do you call it? The skyline. But you just see lights. You don't see the mountain. You just see all the lights of the houses over there. And it reminds me of that. So it feels like I'm in a skyscraper. It's wonderful, you know. But yeah, so I'm gonna wrap this down right now. Remember, I have to give her a call too. It should be well, first of all, let me not lie. It may not be live, it might be recorded if she wants to be recorded. I'm just giving you the heads up that we're going to be doing it, and I'm going to encourage her that we go live. You know what I mean? But she's going to lecture now, so she might not be vibing back and forth and everything. She has a certain amount of information. I'm talking about Dr. Ade. which we know her name is a little longer. I just say a day, just to keep it simple. So if we do go live, she will be focused in because I don't think she's going to be really staring at the chat room. I don't know how her setup is. I know she's on the computer, but if we in the system that we use, so when she gets in a trend of thought, focusing on what she has to say, it's all about output. So don't look at it as rude. She's not answering my question, whatever. We'll have shows like that. I'll make sure to have shows like that. Some free flowing stuff where we get her on live and you can ask all the questions about her research, or you want also, please check the community section of this channel. I know many people don't go there because they don't know to go there. And sometimes I post up a whole lot of stuff, and then sometimes a week or two goes by and I forget. But scroll down. There are a few videos that I put up. You can ignore those. You'll get to those. But there's a flyer where she's going to be speaking in Cleveland, Ohio, where she is now. We know she's bound for Nigeria soon. But I would say she's 84 years old. If she comes to Nigeria, she'll be back and forth, but nothing is guaranteed. So if you're in the Cleveland area, you want to go there and meet her in person, because not because she's doing this to be greatly acknowledged by the world. It would be nice if she could be. Look, we got a Cardi B. How the hell we know about what has Cardi B done? Except be pushed by what they call the Illuminati, whatever system that is to control our minds with filth, right? But we have a Dr. Ade, who has taken all of these decades to on her own dime and never got acknowledged for anything. Yeah, she did her thing in Liberia for many years and did stuff, but she is one of those people that we need to be, acknowledging. She should be flown all over the world to speak. Most of you all have heard her and you understand what I'm talking about. This is why I want to take clips of the shows and put them as short attention span stuff to grab the minds of people. I have to do that because we're being turned into zombies. We're being turned into zombies where we can't, we have the attention span of a daggone goldfish. And hopefully that will lead the youth into wanting to dig a little bit deeper, because we know them people ain't going to push a Dr. Ade that has researched truth that goes against the lies put out here about us. Because whether you know it or not, we are being erased out of history. The actual history we can never be erased out of, but to retain the knowledge of what we have accomplished and how everything has come from us is being reduced. I saw something on Cleopatra the other day online, and it was the face of a European woman. And nobody had a problem with that. Can I go up into, I don't even want to say the name. I'm not scared, but they got their little algorithms and stuff. The people that Kanye West had an issue with. Can I go up in their places of worship, or where they guard their history, which how much of it is ours anyway? Because what they claim, we are that already. You understand? So can I go up in their place and change the imagery of what they say their history is? Right? Can I go to China and change the imagery of what they say their gods are? So why are we so easy to let somebody else come up and change what we have, and we accept it because some white man went down in Africa and found something and shot the nose off, or changed it around slowly but surely and take it as their own? Like this one person in one of the comment sections on one of my shorts. I've been doing a lot of shorts. And he said, yeah, you're going back to some, what did he say? He said something to the meaning about what we're going to be eating grubs. And come on, man. See, that's the sickness coming out, because the truth is coming out. So they have to cling on to them lies hard and come at us like it's a joke or attack us. And we're supposed to jump down. Okay, that's what it is. No, we taught you how to wipe your behinds. We taught you how to a civilization while you were up there. You talking about eating grubs? What will you eat in a place where there's no damn vegetation except the evergreen? You all were eating meat and like it rare and raw. That's a beast. And you want to come at us like that. And as far as eating things, eating grubs, hey, cannibalism, y'all were eating each other. And as a matter of fact, you weren't just cooking and eating each other. You were beating up your women and going back in the caves with the next man and eating each other, if you know what I mean. Y'all just didn't have a stolen rainbow to represent you at that time. All of that stuff. So you want to come and this is the food basket of the world. I mean, you what? The joke I always tell. I was on the highway one time down here, and we were heading up to the Volta region. And I said, "Listen, driver, I gotta go real bad. I gotta take a leak." So I went between two trees, right? And I turned around, turned my back. Nobody could see what I'm doing. And so I let it off so good. It was so much that came out. I had to go so bad, so bad, so bad. As a man or as a woman, right? When you do that and nobody's watching you and you're outside doing it, you gotta sit there for at least 15 seconds to like feeling totally expelled, like it's good. So I zipped up, got back in the van, and we went to the Volta region. And I think we came back 3 days later. Don't you know that this is a joke, y'all? Don't you know that the land here in the motherland is so fertile that as we drove on the other side of the highway, and I looked between them two trees, there was a tree that grew already that looked just like me. I'm just joking, y'all. Where I pee, the tree grew up and looked like me. I'm just saying that. But it's damn near close to that. You spit out your watermelon seeds, watermelons to come. You whatever. You know what I mean? So it's a beautiful thing. So I just wanted to share this little bit of time on my little break. I'm gonna do a little more work before the sun goes down and take a little walk up into town and deal with the people. And it's a wonderful thing. I also have to say this also. It was last week. They have in some places the open sewers, right? So I'm walking and it's dark. It's not dark, dark. It's busy dark. Like it's like maybe 6:30, 7 o'clock. People are all out selling their stuff still. So I see where the open gutters were, but I was so intoxicated by what was going on around me as far how everything was busy. And I haven't learned tree yet. I'm picking up on a few words and stuff, but I was just enjoying the atmosphere of us. It didn't have to be fancy. It did, but how organic it is. And I know I'm going to get stares because I'm a brony. I'm a foreigner to them. Many of them who see that, but then when they understand and talk to me, they understand that I'm home. So I'm walking, looking around, and there was a part of the open gutter where the street was dug out more because they were doing some type of construction work, but didn't put up anything to say, "Hey, don't walk this way." So I'm looking everywhere else, and all of a sudden I start to make the descent down into the hole. Now the hole was probably like about maybe 3.5 feet deep, but I scraped up my legs, busted up my knees, scraped up my finger, but I caught myself. And I know when you fall, you don't get up to move right away because you twisted your back or something. You stay there and you do a gut check, like, okay, I'm alive. Let me move this part, let me move that part. And so I could feel the blood coming down. Nothing deep or it's gushing out, but dripping down my leg in different parts. It was hurting. I stayed there. Wouldn't you believe there 5 people who were around me? Oh, my brother. Oh, my brother. Let me help you. And there were 2 females. There's 5 of them. 2 females and 3 brothers. And and I didn't really need the help like I was somebody who was extremely elderly who had my hip cracked or something. But it was moments earlier, they may have stared at me because I was probably a foreigner, which we do in America as Black people because we'll see some Greek dude just off the plane looking around like, "You don't belong around here. Where he come from?" So it's natural. But guess what? The love that was shared. One of the brothers who had a little tiny shop. I mean, like it was a built out of a shipping container, and it was no more than 8 feet wide. Right? He ran into his shop and brought out a bandage. This next lady ran into her shop and brought out some alcohol. Ooh, that alcohol was strong and it stung. See, they had brought the band-aids and made sure to clean it up. And I'm sitting there next to the open gutter and they're operating on me out of love. And I didn't want to insult because sometimes when a gesture is done for you, even though a lot of folks try to hustle you out of money now, right? That wasn't the case there. So instead of saying, "Should I give you some money?" That would insult them, right? I've learned that. And sometimes people are like, "Okay, good, good." But when they really genuinely show a gesture out of love, no money is really exchanged. When it's a real hustle and bustle type thing, okay, cool. I'll hit you off. So I tried to still, I said, "Listen, Can I get you a malt? Can I get you all something to drink? That's very kind of you. No, my brother, just sit down and rest your leg. Do you have to go right now? I said, no, not really. I'm just hanging out. So wouldn't you believe? I was sitting there for 30 minutes and they were asking me questions about New York City. They were asking me questions about America. And I was engaged in a wonderful conversation with them. And I said, look at that. It took me to fall for me to take the time to receive your good treatment. And now we're the best of friends. So every time I walk by up there, they say, my brother, watch where you're walking. And I act like I'm falling, right? As a joke. And I'll go over there and sit and talk with them for 10 minutes, whatever have you. You see, the thing is, in America, you have all these different organizations, FBA and ADOS, and I'm indigenous and all this other stuff. Why can't we vibe as brothers and sisters here? And there are many who come from over there who want to control you as a person who came out from the same place. And they resent you, and now it's a race, and I'm going to stop you and slow you down and all of this. Yet, these folks didn't know me from Jack. And I'm getting nothing but love from all of them when I walk by. And it spreads because they'll point and say whatever they say in their language, right? Which is my language, but I haven't learned it yet. And the other ones will smile and say, come, come, come. Have you ever tried this fruit? And I'm like, no, here, take this. Look at that. And the sad part about it is a lot of us in America hate each other so much. What's up with that? We don't get along and we hate each other so much. And I'm coming out here and like I said, many of the people who are up in the country who are born and raised up here, they are not rich. There are some people who are rich who build mansions up here behind their tinted windows, would never take a walk through the village. But I gotta be with my people just the same way I would be with my people in America. Even before videos were around, I'm walking around in all different types of neighborhoods, getting to know people and vibing with them. Why can't we do that wherever we go? Why does it have to be where we're, so separate? Oh, Hope Rice, the only rice I F's with. Well, that message, Hope, yes. Just give me the word and it's a done deal. But why can't we vibe like that? Why do we have to find reasons to be separate? Oh, you think you bad because you live in a better zip code. Or who she thinks she is with that new car. Oh, that man may be fine, but that man was looking at me when I was out there taking the garbage, bending over. He saw this stuff. I know he wanted to jump on. We sick. And let me tell you something. You got some out here who are sick, but you can understand why. With the way the religion has been put on them. And they work on countries, man. They put the propaganda out. Come on, y'all, be honest. If you haven't been to the motherland before, what did you think of the motherland when you were 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 years old? You thought it was a place where all these wild animals running around, biting people up, and girls walking with their titties out? Well, for a man, it ain't a bad thing. You know, I say a joke. But we thought it was like, people from Africa who moved up, African booty scratcher, booty sniffer, whatever we were saying, and we were exhibiting the same behavior to each other that the white man gave to many of us who wanted us away from them, right? Oh, go back to Africa. There ain't nothing over there with flies. Are you hungry? And the food over here is so delicious. I may not have gotten into the cultural food, but the natural food is so delicious. And they put so much against us, and they send their economic financial hitmen to come out here and make offers to the presidents and the leaders and let them know, listen, you ain't giving no aid to your people, but you're going to let us extract the resources off of here. They can't benefit from it. If they want anything from their own land, basically not everything, they got to come to us to get it. Why are we exporting so much and got to eat food coming in from somewhere else where we got the best soil over here? I never understood that, but I understand it now. It's to keep us subservient to them. Look at France and Niger, right? Burkina Faso. What's going on with Captain Africa? What's his name? Abraham. Follow that, y'all. 35 years old African leader. They want to snuff him for what he's doing for the country. Just like Muammar Gaddafi wanted to do for Libya. And from what I'm hearing, Libya is not doing too good right now, the way it used to be. They don't want us to have what is for us. Even if you live in America, you have a connection here. Yes, you do. Even if it was broken through slavery. I'm in my country. And I have every right to say I'm American also. And anything that's coming to me over there, I'm taking it. Because my bloodline was brought over there to benefit those who were there. So let's get it straight. We didn't think too much of Africa, our Kebulon. We thought the worst. What did we learn in school about it when we were younger? That it wasn't much. But you know how many white folks are moving over here, building beautiful houses on the countryside in the mountains? Look at where my backyard is, man. Look at the bathroom. Every time I go to pee, look at what I look. Do you know what that does to me? Right, Libby Lou. And I'm just seeing this part. If there were any other comments, Libby Lou says, they tell the Africans not to deal with us because we are lazy and violent, blah, blah, blah. If black people in America stopped working for one day, this whole place would shut down. Damn right. And if these countries in Africa with these compromised leaders shut out France, shut out the UK from the exploitation that's going on, the whole world would crumble. Those people who exploit us, their worlds would crumble. But yet on social media, their TV, their news, they're always saying something in a slanted way. And when these folks out here, these oppressors come out here and they see me, they know I got a different look in mine. They look down and look the other way, turn red. Where was I? Oh, I was at the internet spot, MTN. And there was one who was like, he's not acting like the rest of them. He looks like he didn't say this, but you could read her mind. He looks like one of those from back where he came from. So I looked at her, raised my eyebrow, looked at her feet, and looked back at her. She turned her head so fast, all up in her neck, her ear, everything was red. Yeah, they're getting smart. They're learning the secret of coming over here and moving up in the country where it's beautiful for pennies on the dollar. You see, what we bust our behinds and work hard for, I know it's not for everybody to come out here. Like I said, sometimes we have special needs children, elderly, parents and grandparents that really can't make the trek. You're way up here. This is still where you have to be, because they have hospitals all around here. And they have really great hospitals. The one that I like is a couple miles away from here, down in the crop. Now, maybe I'll find myself somewhere else when I'm 85 years old. You understand what I mean? But what I'm saying is that it's not for everybody. Do you want to take your children from learning, you have them travel, maybe you get a place out here, maybe a small place, and you run it a certain way, like an Airbnb, it's still staying in America, but you have your kids come out and learn the culture, learn something different, and they can still get the best of over there and come over here and benefit the people over here, benefit themselves out here, because there's a lot needed. When you have real specialty situations going on, how come it's got to be somebody else? And we do have a lot of great dentists, great doctors, but a lot of them are compromised because they want that money. So they go to the UK and practice, or they go somewhere else and practice, But at least not to be European-minded, which many of them are, see? And the way the religion has us and stuff. So there's barriers that we have to break down. There's so much to break down, but we can do it. Even if it's not in my generation, you got to think beyond your generation. And it's the thing with many others, how they set their children up to excel. Let's just talk on the level of money. I'm just babbling, man. I was supposed to be going a long time ago. We'll ride a little longer. Let's just look on a level of money. You see, like Sister Hope Rice is setting up her business and doing what it is that she has to do. Why does that have to die with her? I hate to use that word. She will transition. We all transition. What I'm saying is that we are all millionaires. Some of us will get there next week. Some of them will get there in 5 years. But don't go crazy if you didn't get there in your lifetime, but in your bloodline, you will. You have to think long term. You have to think long term. Well, Scary Man, you're making all this content, man, but you ain't getting no big money from it. No, I'm not. I'm not getting any money from this now. You know what I mean? But is it going to stop me? Because it's my content, and my children will benefit from it as I start kicking out books and things or whatever. Maybe the stuff that you put out or the stuff that I put out will be something that will be studied 200 and 300 years from now, to study this time period about the mass migration of American Africans back to the blacks from the South move north, and then so many are moving back south. That movement, this will be studied. If I draw a caricature of a joke of something in this movement, they'll study it just the same way they go back to periodicals, newspapers back in the 1700s to understand what was going on in America between the people. And this illustration represents what was going on with the mind of the people, whatever. You see what I mean? It reflects your experience. And see, we have artificial intelligence coming out now. And people now write articles. They just put in the information what they want. I want it in 10,000 words. I want 50 bulleted points. It's like ordering fast food. And you know what fast food does to your mind or your body? And AI is going to do that to your mind because you don't have to think. Imagine you had AI, like, okay, my age, right? I'm 60. So going back in the 70s, late 60s, 70s, up into 81 when I was in high school, imagine I had AI then. I'm handing my homework in before the class is over. Well, how did you do that, Scurvy? I'm just brilliant that way. It's perfect. It's written out perfect. How did you do this? I'll give you some punishment assignment. You know, you in your second period or third period of school or whatnot. By the time lunchtime comes, here it is. How did you get it done so fast? But guess what? I didn't have to think. So this is why artificial intelligence can aid you in certain, I said aid, not aid you. Or maybe it aids you too, right? You got to work your brain. Your brilliance comes out in that. But here it is. And I don't know how I got on the subject, but I want to stick this part in. With artificial intelligence, it can, and I've said this before on one of my shorts, it can never whip you. Artificial intelligence can't whip you in the respect of you telling your own story, telling your own experience. Huh? What if I put in, and I'm being funny, because I never caught a venereal disease, any kind of sexually transmitted diseases in this life, but I'm using this as an example. AI, yes? Tell me the time back in 1986 when I caught an STD doing them threesome with two girls that I ain't know. It couldn't tell me. Now, don't soundbite me on that because I never caught no STD. I did that other stuff, but I never caught no STD, right? So keep it original. Keep it you. They can extract from what you put out there and spit it back, but it's your information, it's your story. So you have to keep anything you share as a post or you have a blog on your experience, because AI can't touch it and they don't have the legal right to touch it. It's your stuff. But if you go and make AI write something for you and put it up, it ain't you. You see what I mean? So be original. Be original. As Black people, we need to be original and go back to the original source. Like Brother Holla, rest in power. He always said, Sankofa. Sankofa. Bring it back to the original. So he's one of our ancestors now, and I talk to him every day from my spirit as I look over. He always wanted to come here. He was planning to come here, but I guess it wasn't meant to be, but it's here physically now. I mean, spiritually now. There's an ascension. And we need to know that and not be scared of these little threats. We're going to eat, we're going to live, we're going to be strong, and we're going to carry on because we are the original and the strongest and the ones who are designated to be on this planet. This is our planet. How dare they want to make these false boundaries and call us different names, and this one's got Ghanaian and this was Nigerian, and have them fighting against each other. And no, man, who made them boundaries? Who carves this place up? Who makes the boundaries between us as a people? I live on the west side. I don't know about you. You one of them south side Negroes. I can't get, I'm a blood, you a Crip. Come on, man. And we got the common enemy. We got to go a little higher. We can't stay as we are. We'll never get anywhere. We got to find that still place, because the answers we seek will never come until we find that still place within ourselves to realize who we are for each other, and then we can join. But the game is to keep us apart. That's what it is. Oh, Libby Lou is really putting it down. Let me see here. Let me look up a little more. Yeah. Okay, here's the other one she wrote. The Jewish religion have to teach their children about finding. Yes, they do. Christianity teaches us to be so docile that we are not teaching our future to thrive from the earth because we are so heavenly minded and we're praying for everything. We need to be praying for everything. What do I mean? I said it twice. We are PRAYING everything. We need to be PREYING, not on the earth, but against those who are PREYING, jumping the line, coming into our countries and coming into our world and telling us where we can go and where we can't go, and what we dig up out of the soil under our feet belongs to them. And everybody, they shoplifting, man. Worse than they brazenly shoplifting. And plus, number one, this ain't no shop. So let me correct that. They straight stealing. You see what I mean? They straight stealing. That's what they doing. I think I have a little, did I have a connection problem here? Well, there's a call coming in. Of course, there'll always be a call coming in. Okay, I'm back. All right. I had a call. Somebody rang the phone. I just cut it off. Let me know if you can still hear me. Yeah, we're alive. We're alive. I forgot to mute that bad boy, right? But it's something how, okay, let me switch this here. Yeah, we praying for everything and not even doing what we need to do for ourselves. We need to get busy and unify. You got people out here in Ghana who, I'm going to tell you like it is. Don't think there's not that separation thing going on. You got the same thing going. Oh, you from the eastern region, and I'm from the southern region, and we can't get along. Oh, you from the northern region, and you can't do it. They got the same thing, the tribalism going on over here the same way. Who's responsible for this mindset? But everybody praying to Jesus. So if this is the result of Jesus, then why the hell do you want to be up under that? Pray for the unity. And I don't mean pray the Christian way, just yearn for it. But it got to come the separate way. This type of Christian, this Seventh-day Adventist, this Baptist, this African-American Episcopalian, and this and that. And, oh, God, I must say it. I'm not the most scholarly person in the world, but some of y'all are damn stupid. I'm not seeing anybody in the chat room. But if you take it the wrong way and you don't know what I mean, then oh well. Some of us are damn stupid to be separated like this. You in America never been out here and you hating on those who are over here. And this is the most beautiful place on the entire world, the earth. You got beautiful places all over the planet because the planet is ours. We're not just relegated to just the motherland. But this is the best, right? You got beautiful places in the Philippines and the mountains and even where it's cold, you got some nice, I don't want to stay there too long. I don't like the cold, right? We don't like the cold too tough, but the planet is ours. Don't be duped. We're the caretakers. We're the ones who inherit this planet, and we're walking around like we renting rooms up in this bad boy. You know when you somewhere and you renting a room, and you go into the kitchen, you got your shelf, and you got to tape down your food so nobody go mess with it. Well, I don't think I can trust that brother in the room next to me, man. He be making weird noises at night, and then he comes in the kitchen and peeking around like he messing with somebody's food. Got us on the planet Earth, and we're the original ones where we belong, our whole planet. And it's like we're a rumor. Okay, little Negro, you can live in these places, but you can't take anything out because it belongs to us, but you have to work for it, and we'll give you pennies on a dollar, and you have to be happy. But pray to this entity that he'll one day, and he looks like me. Look, if Jesus looked like that, he ain't helping you for nothing. And he's not helping you for nothing. He's helping them. They're telling you right there. They changed the look. Now, we can split hairs and argue. I'll admit that I'm not as well versed in all of that stuff. So this is why we're going to have Dr. Ade come on. This is why we have different ones that are knowledgeable. Brother Neil Frazier comes on and say, Ison, just different ones that know. Like I tell people on this platform, I know a little something, but I'm like Don King. I'll make sure they get the butts in the seats. I make sure they get the butts in the seats. But I'm not going to sit up and try to look at a few YouTube shorts and Instagram posts and think I know everything like many of those who come out here and do on the internet. And they make sure they sound scholarly, but they ain't read about 2.5 books in their lifetime, but they say they researched. Like Brother Malik Aziz, he's another one who I respect fully, because in his area of expertise, he has studied and he can quote the stuff off his head, books beyond him, submit to the truth and research. And you have so many of these YouTube and TikTok frauds who throw on their little costume and verbally plagiarize people, and we run to them and not question where they're getting their stuff from. How much research have you done, brother? Oh, well, I cannot tell you that. You know what I mean? We take things on face value. There are people I used to run with, I thought they were the best. Then when you realize they frauds, I say, no way. You ain't coming around here no more. No, because it's about character also. You see what I mean? Now, the messenger can bring great information and be a straight drunken wino. You know what I mean? They could be a thief and bring good information. But people who are fronting and sucking up your energy and your attention, and their life ain't right. I mean, it's none of my business, but your life ain't right. But you can't mix that energy, y'all. I've told you damn near all my indiscretions from the past. I'm not claiming to be nothing. You know what I mean? There's a platform you can come on, you can share if you're real. I'll do thought-provoking stuff and talk some funniness sometime and have fun. But that's to stimulate. I'm not getting up in here trying to be nobody's prophet or nobody's scholar. But if I do get good information, I'll pass it on in the form of telling you where to go get it, where I found it from, or bringing the actual person on that can tell it to you straight. And you assess it as you need to assess it. That's the best way to do. So that's how I operate in a free-flowing manner. You know what? I like these shows around this time. I think I might just come on live every day this way. I'm not, like I said, I got a lot of things going on. I have to go into town and do this. I had to make a run earlier, unexpected. So I said, okay, I want to put some stuff out there. I've been trying to do more shorts and different things. And I'm going to keep the content coming like a Muhammad Ali flurry when you're in the corner. Pop, 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 pop. But I like this. I did some in the backyard the other day. I may do something later on or early. I don't know. I'll follow my spirit. But I'm here and we're doing well. We're in good spirits. We're making progress slowly but surely. And if anything can be taken from my journey, let it be one of inspiration. It has not been easy. And some of y'all who are really in the know, you know what I'm talking about. A lot of deception going on, a lot of Judases around here. So we had to deal with that. But once you know, and once a person plays their hand, they could never, ever do it to you again. And you will rise. You will rise. Because sometimes people will take you out in the deep waters to drown you, and they end up drowning in their foolishness, and here you are swimming back to shore, just as victorious as ever. That's the way it works. Some of y'all in the know. You look in this chat room. Hope Rice, yeah, you know. Let me see here. Who else knows? Let me say it the ignorant way. Who out here know? Oh, Master Glam, you know. I think Kwame knows. I think Reese knows. Yeah. You know what we had to deal with. We're still here. We're still doing the shows and stuff like that. Yeah. We're going to come with some good shows, Landon. We still got everything in place. It's going to be that way. Wow. Let me see. The sun is shining a little more over on this side. That balcony, as you can see, wraps around and stuff. Yeah. That's the longer side of it. But I'm very happy where I am, and I want to share that happiness. It will never come to you as negativity or whatever. Even when I'm pissed and I'm angry, I'm funny, I think, sometime, right? Scurv going off tonight, but boy, he might be a little mad, but he's funny as heck. I'm going to be me. I'm not going to try to be nobody else other than myself. I'm not going to try to remake myself to follow behind nobody else or And that's what I encourage you to do. There's a beauty to you being yourself. You are made the way you are for a reason. Please don't mess up the original. Perfect yourself as you are. I'm not saying you're going to be perfect, but you can be in the process of perfecting, making yourself better. When I talk to Sister Hope, it's like she's so unique. When I talk to Master Glam, she's so unique. Naima, she's so unique. Everybody who's here, Libby Lou Landon, everybody who's here, so unique in their own way. They carry the positive energy with their own flavoring on it. You know, back in the day when I was into eating heavy chicken, and you on the highway going down to the state, you say, let me pull over, you know, and get something to eat here at the rest stop. You see all kind of white people in the chicken spot. I'm like, this is weird to see all these white folks in the chicken spot. And there's some generic chicken with some weird name. Houlihan's chicken. I don't know. I just made that up, right? And you see some little bird and whatnot, and you go in and you eat it. You're like, oh man, this is not bad. And the white folks eating it too. Because you know how they do their chicken different. It's like dry and don't have no flavor. You know what I mean? All light and whatnot. You eat and you're hungry. You eat this stuff. So it's being unique. So the way you flavor the truth, because it is still the truth, may be a little different than the way I present it. But truth is truth is truth is truth. And no matter how you slice it, it's always going to be truth. You know, it's just a beautiful day. And I'm glad that I made the decision to come up here and do it like this. I could have sat around a table and just, you know, put the green screen up and nah. Sometimes you want to have the background with a little realistic something. And I'm going to be presenting different backgrounds and even doing shows other places. Walk up on the side of the road by the mountain and let you see how far we can see. I put something up on Patreon that, you know, me and Mr. Scurv took a walk. Okay, we walked all up the mountain and everything and showed you how far. Just walked into town. And really, the town here close by is nondescript. It's the real, you know, and it's the beginnings of the real, that when you go way out hundreds of miles, right? Because you ain't seeing no McDonald's up there. You ain't seeing no Walmart up there. You're not seeing no Target up there. You ain't seeing no, oh God, just the stores we're used to, right? You ain't seeing those stores right in these parts up here. But you had little shops, little thing. This skirt went up there. She had a scarf, a wrap that she wanted. It was wide but short. So she likes to have it like shaped rectangular but longer. So she had them cut it in half and join it. So it's this long wraparound thing. Just a little shop up there. These two girls up there. Well, they were young ladies, right? And she explained what they wanted and they didn't even charge much. And she gave them a little extra. And she got the wrap she wanted. You know, when you talk to people, you can have a nice life. Now, if you go up there looking for cheese doodles, I don't think you'll find them. No, you might find a shop that has it up there now. You know, they got their little sodas and snacks and stuff. But over here, like you have different, you know, might be a different company. And it may not be from America. It might be, you know, cheese snaps or something. It's like, these don't taste too good, right? Or they taste different, right? So it's just a matter of adapting, but I wouldn't trade this for nothing in the world. I can't say that. If you gave me $1 billion, I wouldn't sell my soul for, but I know what I can do with that $1 billion and take it and do something. But other than that, I'm not a whore for the common things. For me right now, like they say, when a man gets to a certain age, that's when he begins to know how to live. And I feel I'm there already. I feel that, you know, I'm in that place already now where I'm feeling settled, clear in my spirit. Toxicities are out of me, and I'm not allowing them in. So any aggressions done to me or spoken about me, go ahead with it. I got other things to do. I got stuff to leave here on this earth before I transition, and I'm enjoying it. And now it's free sailing. It's the feeling of when you come out of a traffic jam and you look, you say, man, I've been sitting in traffic for 20 minutes. Man, it was jammed. I thought it would never end. And you finally get into the clearing on the highway and you put your music on and it's just, you're flowing like, yeah. It's the feeling of being constipated and being free after that, you know? And you're like, yeah, I feel so light. So too many of us are spiritually constipated. Too many of us are emotionally backed up. You can against your adversaries because you're moving freely and you can read their spirits like a cheap novel. Read their spirits like a cheap dime store novel. Not only read their spirits, but you can read their mind. Little disruptions they want to throw in your way when they see you making progress. We'll do a conference call and I'll update you on the happenings like that. We'll do it in a private way. But I got to get ready for Sister Day. I have to talk to her to see how she wants to do this. And I got a little work to put in. She wants her bulleted points put up, a certain way. And what I suggest we do it scrolling across the bottom. So I want her to copy and paste and send me those things so I can get it set up so you can actually read what she's putting out, So yeah, it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. So, I'm going to get ready to leave. And I just want to say that I love you all. And what time is it now? Oh, man, it's 5:05 over here for me. So that means on the East Coast, it's 1:05. I need to jump back to 1:05 and get a couple more hours. No, I'm all right. The rhythm that these hours dictate to me and to be vibing with the sun and in nature and stuff has really gave me a mental, physical, and spiritual tune-up. And I'm just so happy for that. And I just want to share that happiness with everybody here. So even though it's tranquil and we're in the trenches, don't forget that we are in a war, but it doesn't mean you always have to have the war mentality when you get home and recharge like a cell phone on the charger. The more peace that you can have within and extract from the world as it gives it to you, it will feed you in rough times and keep you strong to the point where your enemy will wonder, what the hell is keeping them up? How are they so strong? I've thrown everything I had at them and they're still doing what it is they do. Because we are connected to something else that they have no clue about, and they are not able to connect with that, with the kind of spirit and mentality that they have. You see what I mean? They'll try to act humble to the rest of the world, but you already know what you're dealing with. And don't even bother with those entities. You don't want to make your filters clogged up. You want to keep your filters clear, and that's what it's all about. Anyway, much love to you all. Lancescurv out. Salute to my brothers. Much love to my sisters. It's been wonderful. I said I'd come up here for 15 minutes, but we're right up on 2 hours. Y'all know how I do. I don't know. If I don't shut up now, we might be up here for another 4, but it's always enjoyable. And I want to get more of these in. And then eventually, when everything is super settled, I want to get it in when you know what time it will be every single day, because I have no problem running my mouth every single day. We'll get into stories and things that are happening in current events and stuff like that, and just flow. You know what I mean? We'll do it that way. Okay? So anyway, much love to you all. Lancescurv out. And I will talk to you on the next one later on tonight. Peace.
Take it away, feeling too good to me. Chilling all day, all in your space is where I wanna be. Here in this room, what did you do? I just can't get enough. Too caught up in your love. I've been trying to forget, but you won't let me. Something in my brain wants you. I've been hanging by myself, asking for help, but nothing seems to work on you. Yeah, you always make me feel like home. Yeah, you never leave my thoughts alone. Yeah, you're the reason I'm going out my mind. I just can't stop thinking about you. All that I crave when you're away, nights are sleepless. Do we need space? Yeah, maybe a break. Boy, you're my weakness. Give and we take, the love that we make, it's my favorite drug. Too caught up in your love. I've been trying to forget, but you won't let me. Something in my brain wants you. I've been hanging by myself, asking for help, but nothing seems to work on you. Yeah, you I just can't stop thinking about you. You got me feeling some type of way. You make me wanna stay in all day. You're the reason I can't get out my head. I just can't stop thinking about you. 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 I just can't stop thinking about you.
Hey, this is Oscar Gloria. You're listening to the Lancescurv Show.
For the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out.